Hey guys, it's Jouelzy, and it is Smart Brown Girl Thursday, where we always bring an important topic that is not being discussed in our community because I want all my smart brown girls to flourish. So I hope you are watching this with your Smart Brown Girl t-shirt on. I am continuing on my topic of mental health because I feel like it is so important. And it's becoming more discussed, but I feel like we're still being rather vague about the depths of mental health. And it's not really, there's not a lot of preparation for, preventive messages being talked about and things that you can do before, the depression or the anxiety or the panic attacks or whatever hit you hardcore. And so, what I've gotten is a lot of questions about keeping a journal, because I mentioned in my video on how I maintain my anxiety and depression was a big help for me has been keeping a journal. And so I have gotten questions about how one starts a journal, whether what they're journaling about is appropriate, people feeling insecure because they only journal when they're in an emotional relationship, or their journal is just filled with them talking about a boy or, I won't say fuck boy, but a man or whatever else, and people just not knowing where to start or how to start. And so I'm going to give you 5 quick tips on keeping a journal. Number 1 is buy a journal that you actually want to write in. I have kept a journal since I was in 3rd grade. I actually have all my journals up till today here. This is my private property, don't touch, from 1996. Yeah, December 24th, 1996, 9 p.m. because I had to write the time down. I think this was shortly after we visited the Holocaust Museum, and I was feeling like I had the potential to have a diary that became famous like Anne Frank's, and so I needed to keep down all my moments. Now, journals like these as an adult don't work well for me because I don't like writing in notebook. I'm kinky. I do not like wide rule. Composition books. This one's from 1999. I will not keep up in something like this. I moved up to nicer ones, and these ones I just felt like I just was more compelled to write. Like, now my journal of preference, this is the journal that I had from like 2008 until, I didn't journal that much once I started this YouTube channel, so this journal lasted me 3 years. But now I moved over to moleskins. This is my current journal. I keep these in my purse. I keep a moleskin that I also use just for keeping notes on things because I'm always having ideas running in my head. But I keep my journal separate from any like note-keeping books. This is what a moleskin looks like. You can get these at your Barnes & Noble, on Amazon, and these are $19. I like the classic hardcover ruled notebook. It has the orange banner on it. That's how you know what the lining of the paper is going to be on the inside. Feel of these, it makes me feel official. It's mental, and the whole point of keeping a journal is about, relieving what's going on in your head, adding clarity to your life. What you write in does matter. It all plays into your psyche. This made me feel like a grown-up. This, I'm not fit and have a literary legacy, and people going, not that people are going to read my journal, but like what I write matters, and that's why I like writing in moleskins. 2, write whatever is on your mind. Do not be concerned about other people's judgment or even your own judgment with what you're writing. Even if your journal is full of you talking about young men, then that's fine because that's what you're going through in life. And the whole point of a journal is that, I've kept on my journals because I can look back and read them and see my growth. I can also see patterns and look back at past experiences and be able to get over things quickly. I think a lot of times we tend to forget, especially when dealing with emotions, how we did the same thing before and we said we're never going to do it again. And the journal is a good way to kind of keep a level head about things. And again, it provides so much clarity. You shouldn't really be concerned about someone else reading your journal. Well, if you're an adult. Now, if you live at home with your parents, I can't control whether your mom and daddy gonna read through it. Number 3, don't worry about how your writing voice sounds. And, this is slightly different from worrying about the people reading it. I think there's 2 concerns that a lot of people have had in contacting me. One is the content of what they're writing about, and that they feel dumb for always writing I don't know, or they feel silly for always writing about a guy or a significant other. I myself do journal a lot based around me dealing with other people on an emotional level, and so for the most part that does deal with dating. I don't feel dumb that I have an entire journal. This most recent one I only ever wrote when I was dating someone, so but I'm not concerned. Like, the journal's for me, it's not for everyone else. But you don't want to worry about it sounding immature, like you not having the words to write things down. You know, you can feel free to write how you talk. Write exactly what is down in your mind. Don't worry about, is your syntax structured? Is it poetic? Is it melodic? If someone reads it, is it gonna make sense? Again, this is not for anyone else. Writing for your journal is completely different from how you would tell a story. And so don't be worried about constructing a story. You know, your book is about benefiting your emotional self. And I have written a book, and I did take a lot of inspiration from journal entries. And, you know, going back and reading my journal helped me to remember certain emotions and how I expressed them in that moment. But it wasn't like I was looking to rip journal entries from my journal and put them into a book. That doesn't work. It's not how I construct a story. It's really not how a story is constructed. My book, Send It On, is about the emotional evolution of a young woman. One chapter in here that's largely based off of how I write in my journal is I, which is about coming from lower, you know, as Miss Gia would say, getting your cat snatched. But, you know, going from an uppercase I, which is like strength and embodiment, to a lowercase I and feeling like you're depleted. And I end the chapter with, I is not I is at loss. I need to be saved. Save me, save I, save. Like, literally, you know, it's great that I could take that emotion and kind of make it make sense in the book, but I have entire journals that are like, save me. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Oh my gosh. Number 4, be honest with yourself no matter how it makes you feel. I got so many teardrop stains in my journal. I have used my journal as a time where I could find solace in my vulnerability, especially since it's something that I have had to deal with. And I've, you know, it's not until recently that I really got comfortable or was okay with my vulnerability. But using my journal and having those moments to write and be clear with myself has really, really helped. So don't be ashamed if you did something that is less than scrupulous and don't be afraid to put it in your journal. When I first started journaling again as an adult, I had a hard time with acknowledging that I liked a guy, or acknowledging that I slept with a guy, or acknowledging that I felt like he made me feel like a hoe, you know? But then I remember writing one entry and then being like, but why am I like trying to like skim around the bush in a journal like somebody else is finna read this? Like, let me just go ahead and be direct. Like, I feel like this is what I did because of it, and this is now how I feel about the repercussions of my actions. Don't go into writing into your journal feeling like you have to be extra strong and extra clairvoyant about what you're writing. Number 5, if there is something that is bothering you, take a moment and write about it. You know, I think forcing yourself sometimes, especially when we get lethargic and unmotivated and we don't want to do things, you know, sometimes I will, knowing I need to write and knowing I need to write it out and I should put something in my journal because, you know, I'm just not clear, I'm not motivated, I need to let go of that energy, and that's what journaling does for me. I will still avoid it and won't do it, but, you know, I just get to a point where sometimes I have to force myself, like, look, you're not finna watch no TV, you're not finna eat this ice cream, you know, I'll put this mental, you know, reward in my head for going ahead and journaling. Create a space where you feel okay writing. Sometimes, you know, it has to be light outside. I gotta be in my bed. The lighting gotta be right. I like lighting candles. I got this mint eucalyptus candle. Shout out to KG Lifestyle for making me get it. It does put me in a good mood. I got it from Bath and Body Works. But, you know, maybe you need to have a certain aroma around you. But whatever you need to do to get in that space where you can let go of certain things and put it into writing in your journal, you know, create that space for you. A bonus tip, verbal manifestations work wonder, whether it's prayer, you know, for those of you who are not religious, whether it's just reaffirming things out loud, it definitely helps. I pray a lot. Often when I pray, I thank God for the opportunities that He's presented me and just ask that He can help me take advantage of everything that He's put in front of me and that I don't take for granted anything that I'm given. And then I find the will to be productive enough to keep moving forward. You know, however it works for you, you know. If you believe in the gospel according to Suge Avery, you know, I hope you can envision the future through a blade of grass. As always, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like the video. It matters. Leave a comment during the conversation. Comment with other folks. Be respectful. And if you don't have your Smart Brown Girl shirt, Cop it. We working on kids and plus sizes soon. So, you know, support so we can give more back to you. Let me not forget, send it on. I have autographed copies available at Jouelzy.com. This is separate from the Smart Brown Girl shop. You can pick you up one of those, or you can pick it up if you're international on Amazon.com and Kindle. Okay? Support a Smart Brown Girl. I'm only here for you. We gonna flourish and take over the world. Deuces! I'm fascinated by her. I'm fascinated that her parents really did name her Glozell, and they named her sister Dionzel, however you pronounce it. They were real committed to the